Good afternoon, world, and good afternoon, Vapi Chulo. I have a very important question for you.
Tell me, what's up?
What do bills and problems have in common?
It's an issue that we mainly all experience every day at this point.
Wrong.
What is it?
Something to take care of in the future.
That's the very distant future the way this is looking like, man.
Yes, very distant future. Not taking care of any bills or problems right now. Everyone is on lockdown. But what else? What else we looking forward to in the future, Vapi Chulo? You got anything big on the horizon? Anything coming up in your life that you're looking forward to once this national lockdown comes to an end?
Listen, as a recent graduate, I am looking forward to having a job. I am looking forward to continuing to pay taxes. As funny as that sounds, because that means that I have income coming in. Um, I'm not even thinking about the debt that we as a nation will undergo in the future. So really boring things like that, Rico Grande. To be honest, man, I don't know what there is to look forward to currently.
Heavier deadlifts?
Listen, like if the universe has me move near you, you are gonna be my personal trainer. Unpaid, of course, you're pro bono. Um,
No, I'm gonna charge the corporate account.
and then we'll see. I do have some fitness goals. But you know what? Everything that I'm looking forward to is at a screeching halt right now. How about you? What you got to look forward to?
Oh, I gotta look forward to one day starting a family,
Mm.
owning a house.
Wow, all those costs sound like money.
Yeah, yeah. uh, Building an in-home gym
Ooh, I like that.
since this not having equipment has made these workouts difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even having no equipment, I have worked out more than some people.
You definitely have worked out more than me for sure.
There's also one very very big name that I've worked out more than. I don't know if you've been reading any of the news about these superhero movies.
Not more than what's his name, Camille. You definitely have been working out more than Camille in preparation for that new Marvel movie because that boy is jacked right now.
Who's Camille? I don't know who that is.
All right, oh bro, he is
Oh,
what?
the guy from the Eternals movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, 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 not him, not him. It's on the other side of the comic book pond, the DC.
No, I don't even know what's coming. What's coming out for DC?
I am working out more than Robert Pattinson, who was
What is
cast
he
as
in?
he is the new Batman.
What?
You haven't heard?
Who made that decision?
Warner Brothers.
How, are people cool with this? I feel like I have no
They
like
weren't.
they weren't right. Okay, that's what I figured.
So he was on an article the other day, I think maybe yesterday, and
Mm,
saying, "Oh yeah, my trainer gave me some dumbbells and a like a balance ball, but I haven't done anything."
that's ridiculous. So
He was
he's
like,
getting paid all this money to not do anything.
"Well, his quote was that if you're one of these people that are working out every day, you're part of the problem."
I think he mainly means like at the gym. I'm sure he doesn't mean like because he could. Robert Pattinson could do the workouts in his crib. One, and he can also just buy the equipment to have in his crib. And three, he probably doesn't even need to pay any money. The studio would probably pay for all of the equipment without blinking an eye. That's what they did
Yeah,
for Camille.
yeah,
They
no, they've done all of those things, and he refuses to do it.
and he definitely has millions and millions of dollars going into this, and like to him directly, and nothing's happening.
No. So who knows?
That's
Whenever
crazy.
this is all done and they go to film, they might have to bring in all the body doubles because he's not doing his own stunts.
It's crazy. Well, listen, something I do have to look forward to in the future is I'm a real big techie, and I know you are too. And so I am really interested in what technology has to offer. I actually found this article titled Future Technology 22 Ideas About to Change Our World. And so, Rico Grande, if it's okay with you, I think it would be fun if we went down this article.
Go ahead.
All right, so just for the viewers, just to let the viewers know, Rico Grande and Vapi Chulo have only seen the first three out of this list of 22. For the YouTube viewership, you'll be seeing the article live time with the same time that Rico Grande and I are seeing this for the first time. So if you are hearing us through a streaming platform, Spotify, Google Podcast, whatever, just know that through our YouTube channel, Horn of Plenty Pod, you can actually listen to the whole episode and see what we are seeing on the screen so you could better follow along, okay? So, the first thing on this list is sweat-powered smartwatches. How you think this is going to change the game?
Well, I hope people are active.
Oh, that's fair.
I know a lot of people that have smartwatches, Apple Watch, Fitbit, whatever. And, even though they're walking and sometimes, doing all different kinds of things, it's, maybe not a lot of sweat being produced. So it's cool. I mean, cool idea. I don't know once it actually gets off the ground, maybe it'll be some kind of hybrid power source, because you'd have to be sweating all the time.
Right. So the way that this works is the device works by coating polyester cellulose cloth in a thin layer of a polymer, which acts as a super capacitor's electrode. No, I am not this educated. I read that word for word from the article. I don't know what half of these things mean. But they found a way to make it a power source, which I think is really cool. Am I excited for this? Not really. I don't wear any watches. When I get a job on the next Black Friday, I hope to get a smartwatch. But I don't think this really changes the game for me. I actually hear from people that have smartwatches that they have fairly good battery life. They only need to charge it about once a week. But I think it's cool. I think more than anything else, the way that they are producing power through the sweat would probably revolutionize something in the distant future.
Yeah, it's cool. Just like you, I don't wear a watch. I just look up in the sky, and if the sun's away, it's nighttime, and if it's out, I'm rocking it.
Rico Grande is so old, he uses sundials to tell time.
Yep. No, that was a breaking advancement.
Rico Grande just has everything he needs on his backpack. So anytime you need to tell time, he just got the materials to make a sundial over there at the dirt.
Yeah. I got that experimental internet gas and connected to the internet.
All right. Number 2. Rico Grande and I talked about this, and I was super surprised by it. It's a self-healing living concrete. So when I read that, I was like, what does this even mean? Well, apparently, researchers said that it's a building material that has structural load-bearing function, and so it's capable of self-healing. So I was like, I don't understand, like, what does this mean? Well, the team from the University of Colorado Boulder says that it has potential to heal their own cracks, suck up dangerous toxins from the air, or even glow on command. And so when I read that, I was like, oh, that's super cool. I would be interested to see if they can use this material on roads so they don't have to be paved every 1 to 2 years.
Yeah. You know what I just thought of, Vapi Chulo?
What do you just think about?
And I to my best ability, because we only saw the first couple, like you said.
Yeah.
For every good thing that is presented in this list, I am going to come up with the worst case scenario.
Okay, so tell me. Okay, so for the first one, let's go back to the first one because I got one for you already. The first possible worst case scenario for sweat powered smartwatches is that it explodes.
You sweat too much and overcharges.
Yes, yes. So I'm going with
Okay.
that one. All right, what you got for number two?
Clayface.
Excuse me?
Do you remember the villain Clayface from Batman?
Oh my, no, I don't. Let me see if I could pull a picture. Was he in? Was he ever in any of the animated Batman stuff?
Yes, he was an actor. Something bad happened to him, like all villains, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the power that he could change his shape. He could look like different things, but he's this big clay villain. It was like, if it's healing itself, it's absorbing toxins, it's shining light, which is a form of radiant energy. Who puts you put a little AI processing chip into that smart clay,
Yeah, well, we got a
now you got
problem.
Clayface. Worst case scenario, the roads take over.
That I think that's a little. They need to master AI technology before you even get to that point. I
Well, hey, we're
think
talking about the future. We're not
we
talking
are.
about today,
That's
Papi
true.
Chulo.
That's true. Listen, when I read this article, it sounds like all of this is well within this decade. I think within the next 10 years they could accomplish all of this. It
Oh,
doesn't.
well, no.
The article doesn't specifically say, but sweat-powered smartwatches and the self-healing living concrete. I don't think it's something we have to wait way too long for, in my opinion.
I'm gonna put down, and I wish that we had money
So we could bet.
so we could bet. So not only money, enough to pay all the bills, but extra discretionary pay.
Right.
I would wager a significant sum that in 10 years you're not going to see one brick of living concrete on a road.
I disagree because Colorado University at Boulder is definitely going to do something crazy and make like a small little house that like houses a family or two just to prove the point. It's already been. It's already. They have already used it for a couple of things in research periods, obviously, but.
They ain't going to be on a public road.
And no, for sure it's not because they're gonna want to monetize this ASAP. But
We can't even pass infrastructure to fix the little bridges and side streets, let
that's a
alone
fact.
get living concrete.
That's a fact. All
All
right.
right, let's go on to the next one.
Hey, living robots, man. You don't even need to give us the Death Day example because we already know if you've seen iRobot with Will Smith, if you played any video games that has to do with robots, just uprising like
The
Detroit,
Matrix.
the Matrix or Detroit become human. Like you know that there is always a fear that living robots will somehow have human emotions and purpose downloaded to their systems and it just overtake us as a society. Where listen, it's a risk that I think some people are willing to take. Honestly, what do you think?
I don't know. There's not too many scenarios in which it ended up being a good thing.
No, well, let's see what it says. They are novel living machines. Okay, they're neither a traditional robot nor a known species of animal. It's a new class of artifact, a living programmable organism. Listen, if it's a program, listen, as somebody that did Lego robotics as a kid, there's only two possibilities: is that you programmed it correctly and it operates within your program, or it doesn't get programmed correctly and it just malfunctions. Never have I ever had a Lego robot pull a gun on me and say, "Put your hands up." Where the RAM at? Right? Where the terabytes at? So listen, and this is the thing. Like, I don't think the people designing the AIs have it down packed to where they're able to be that sentient. Like these robots right now are being designed with very basic functions. It won't be another 100 years, in my opinion, until these robots are able to do really crazy tasks.
Well, no, but you don't need a crazy task to mess things up. So, one example there was saying that they could send these little robots into a part of the body that needed medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even that function alone requires an extraordinary amount of programming.
Mm-hmm.
once it's in the body and it gets into a cell, I mean, depending on how intricate this is, all it has to do is turn on a switch for cells to keep on producing, and then that's how you get cancer.
That's fair.
No, it's not like they have to like pick up a gun, differentiate between good or bad people, pull a trigger. All it needs to do is make a simple mistake within the cellular structure of the body.
Cool. Well, I hear you, and I will raise you one positive. It says here that tiny hybrid robots made using stem cells from frog embryos could one day be used to swim around human bodies to specific areas requiring medicine or to gather microplastic in the oceans. What could go wrong there?
Everything.
I'm excited for this technology. I'm really big on evolving further, and I'm not a fan of being too worrisome to continue to evolve as a society. I think that there's a lot of questions of ethics that play a role in AI and robots and all of that jazz. And so I just hope that we have people who I won't say abide by ethical decision making, because what is ethics? It's subjective, right? But yeah, I think if there is ever a robot uprising, it won't be in our lifetime. This is my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, depends on how long we live, I guess.
Yeah. All right, 4. Tactile virtual reality. All right, so these people at Northwestern University have developed a prototype device which aims to put touch within VR's reach. Listen, Rico Grande, I already know that this is probably the most excited I will be on anything in this list. If I'm reading this correctly, this is technology that will transport me to a world that is not this, with and then make me forget about the realities of my life, and then just go around and play video games as if I were actually in that universe. And I've always been really excited to catch Pokemon in fake IRL, so fake in real life.
Yeah, you know what show this makes me think about almost immediately?
Sword Art Online?
No,
Westworld?
it wasn't. It actually wasn't a virtual reality. Uh, but do you remember G Gundam?
Yes, yes.
And this was and there's been many Gundam series. This was the one that like all the different countries had like their own fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go into Gundam and they would be in that like super tight body suit.
Yep.
So like if someone hit the Gundam's arm, they would feel it in their real arm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just imagine like you're playing like a boxing game.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson's Mega Punch Volume 2.
Mike Tyson is nothing compared to Homeboy from Wii Boxing.
Yes. But if you're playing that boxing game, you take that hit.
Yeah.
Like just as fun as it may be to, be like Goku and fly around,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're playing a shooting game, I can't imagine taking those bullets is gonna feel good.
Well, this is the thing though. I'm assuming you've never seen Westworld.
I have seen it.
Oh, you have. So in Westworld, you have the AIs, and then you also have the humans, the affluent humans that pay for, being immersed in a different universe. And one of the rules, I'm not gonna spoil it, but in the beginning, like these humans cannot be shot. Like they may, like if an AI or another human shoots them, like it's kind of like it's like the equivalent of being shot with a paintball bullet, but even less so. So I would imagine that as this technology becomes available, you either have to sign a waiver if you actually want to be that immersed into the game, but more realistically, you probably just won't feel the pain. You'll just feel random grips here and there. You won't feel a Mike Tyson full counter punch.
Hey, well, how did Westworld end?
Oh, listen, I'm at the last season, and it's not looking too good. So, the last season of Westworld, you know what? I said that if a show has been here for a while, then I don't care about spoilers because if I didn't see it yet, you're not gonna see it now. So if you don't want to be spoiled on how the end of season one goes, I'm just gonna talk about the end of season one. Then skip 2 minutes ahead. You got 5 seconds. Five, four, three, a two, a one. Listen, man, the AIs understand what's going on and they bring the humans to a ceremony in their universe and they shoot all of them up, bro. They're like, we were created by what the humans think that they're gods. Nah, this is our universe. We shooting up everybody, and this universe is gonna be ours. So it did not end well at all because somehow the AIs were able to penetrate through the security clearances and through the coding.
There was hidden code.
Yeah, there was hidden code
by the original creator.
Yeah, that were protecting the humans, and they overrided all of that, and that's how they were able to shoot up humans in their reality. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, think you could download, a system, perfect aim, multiple languages, jujitsu techniques. You just download it, and it just runs as a program. Like someone walks up to you, you know all karate holds in a matter of nanoseconds, however long it takes to download.
Yeah, it's insane.
You got that perfect aim simulator on there. You walk through, not a bullet wasted.
That's a fact. And you can't even be slick. Like there be some animes and some other shows that are cool where they be like, "Listen, I know you super strong, but I bet you can't beat me in a game of chess." And so that's cool because you could just use your smarts, man. No, it's a AI, bro. They know every single move. They're gonna insist that they go first because I think I saw a statistic that whoever goes first in chess, if they're about adequate on like power levels of chess players, I'm gonna say, if you go first, you have a 3 to 6% chance to win the game just based off going first. Chess is one of the very few games where being first actually gives somebody a really good statistical advantage of winning. So, yeah, no, you can't beat these AIs, man. But you know what? I don't think it's gonna happen in my lifetime, so I'm chilling right now.
All right, we'll go on to the next one.
Okay. Internet for everyone. Yo, get Frontier out of here, bro. What is this about? Is this about fiber optics? Let's see. We can't see.
I know it's not gonna happen.
We'll see. We'll see, bro. I actually have more hope of this than almost anything else, to be honest. We can't seem to live without the internet, duh. But still, around half the world's population is connected. Okay. There are some reasons for this, including economic and social reasons, but for some, the internet just isn't accessible because they have no connection. Okay, so let's not even think about other countries. Let's just talk about you actually were raised in middle America, like in some rural parts where they're unable to have good internet connections, right?
No.
No? All right, well, it is more middle America than where Rico Grande grew up.
Raised in what's considered the Midwest, but I was in between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, so there was
never mind.
Some rural areas, but we all had internet access for our internet.
Right. Well,
it was a city.
Listen, there are a lot of rural parts in America where people are unable to have good cell phone service or good internet service for a lot of reasons. So it says Google is slowly trying to solve the problem by using helium balloons, and just like that, I have no faith anymore. All right, so says Google is slowly trying to solve the problem using helium balloons to beam the internet to inaccessible areas, while Facebook has abandoned plans to do the same thing using drones, which means companies like Hyper are stealing a march. So, I mean, I think there's ways to go about it. I already don't know what the integrity of a helium balloon is, shooting Wi-Fi signals to rural America when there's a thunderstorm or it's raining or snowing or whatever. But, I mean, there's potential here, and I think that I think that there is a lot of room for innovation when it comes to this space. Um,
There, you know, there's only one thing that I will accept,
what?
and I already know what your reaction is going to
Oh,
be.
here we go.
Okay, so every country builds a little statue with its hands raised to the sky,
Yes! Yes!
and all the satellite is called the Goku satellite,
Uh huh.
and all of the hands are like sending up the Wi-Fi
Oh,
signal.
here we go. I got a picture for you. I got a picture for you.
So
So it's
that
just a statue, and then this is the Wi-Fi signals.
the Goku satellite can send the Wi-Fi down into all the stations all over the world.
Yo, look at this lamp. This is a pretty cool lamp. Never mind, that's free advertising. Hey, no free sponsorship. No free. No, I like that idea. I like that idea.
You call it spirit energy.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Spirit Wi-Fi energy. All right, so next on the list is number 6 out of a list of 22. 760 mile per hour trains. Listen, Rico Grande, you know my stance on this. I'm overly optimistic about anything that has to do with high-speed rails. So I'm gonna let you take this one.
I like the idea. I mean, it's been other countries have high speed rail. The
Yep.
United States has just been dragging its feet on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think it'd be cool. I mean, I think it'll definitely be more of something that is coastal. Um, just because you're building these systems and they're going super fast. The infrastructure and stuff needed for that is going to make more sense within the city environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to see it on the like countrywide, the same way like railroads and things were built. Um, yeah, there's going to be a future longer than I'm probably here.
Well, here's hoping that California gets this within a reasonable time so that passengers between San Francisco and LA can get there in 35 minutes compared to the 7.5 hours by regular train.
Yeah. The only thing that I'd be very interested in seeing is how they develop safety protocols.
I would assume. Well, isn't there like a lot of the scientific? And this is your domain, so just correct me as soon as you can. But with things going this fast, you you only really feel it at the very beginning of the train departing, and then when it is slowing down for its destination. After a while of you acclimating to that, you rarely feel it, and so I would imagine that a simple a seat belt would be fine. I don't think that you have to undergo any training that astronauts have to undergo to make sure that they don't die on impact of like cracking the ozone layer or whatever.
Cracking those.
Like I don't think that they're building this with like people like you have to sign a waiver and then you have to make like you have to send us a
What?
physical that says that you're okay to ride this rail.
No, I'm not concerned about the people inside the rail. I mean, planes go fast.
Right.
No, I'm concerned about. So a lot of these trains, they're not connected to a rail the same way a train is. There's usually a super magnet
Yep.
that's elevating, the train, so it's not floating. But
Mm-hmm.
what it does, the reason it's able to go so fast is it severely reduces the amount of friction. Um, there is none because it's not on a track,
Mm-hmm.
and it's able to accelerate, along.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the safety of the people inside the train. I'm worried about what happens if one of these systems fail, or something is now in the way of the track. Um, there's been plenty of car-on-car collisions, plane crashes, trains running into something. I can only imagine the first time something happens with a 760 mile per hour train, or whatever it hits is going to be obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the train itself. I mean, depending on the force of the impact, and knock it off the rail, and then what happens to the people on the inside? There's just, I mean, it is the work of safety engineers. It's just, something I'm interested in to see how it develops.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It seems like even the schematic has air cushion, and then I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of factors that play in where it's programmed to let you know when something may go wrong, so you have enough time for the people, the train conductors, to do some sort of intervention to lessen the impact. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they resolve those issues that you're talking about in the 50 years that it takes to finally get one
Yeah.
in the United States, at least. All right, moving on at number 7, heart monitoring T-shirts. Oh, this is probably something you would like. Wearing a heart monitoring T-shirt while you work out, so you get to see what your heart rate is doing, huh?
Not me personally.
Okay, well, your clients. For
Yeah,
people who
clients.
don't know, Rico Grande is a personal trainer. He's out here making sure that people are living up to their most, physical potential. And so this is something that you may want to get some revenue off of.
If I designed it, I mean, there's a lot of like wearable sports tech. So Fitbits and different monitors like that. You wear it on your
Mm-hmm.
hand. They give readouts. Some of the early models had some problems with inaccuracies. Each generation of tech usually gets a little bit better, so those have improved.
Mm-hmm.
There's also heart rate monitors that you could wear. It's kind of like a band that goes around your chest, and you could sync it with one of those devices, and it'll read it out. It's a little bit more accurate because it's placed closer to where the heart is, and getting a little bit more of a good pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Just wearing a shirt, it's fine. Um, there may be more medical purpose to something like this than a training purpose. Um, Only because usually when you're training, if you're with a trainer or you've been doing it for a while, you plan the escalation of your heart rate to be within a specific zone. So if you're like a ultra athlete, professional athlete, and you're trying to be within a very specific um, heart rate range for like a specific amount of time and then bring it down, this would be great. For most people, it would be a little bit too specific and probably too much for what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, the people who designed the different programs and stuff are very imaginative. I mean, you can have it synced up to your smartphone and,
Yep.
have music maybe play at a tempo that's reflecting your heart rate. So, like, if the music starts going too fast, you know how to slow down.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Different things. I'm patting that.
There you go. So you talked extensively about it being used when you're working out and stuff. The CEO also says that they want to develop the product to be used for clinical applications to allow those who may already suffer with heart conditions enough warning of a heart attack. So I mean, it looks like there are two purposes to this.
Yeah.
So very cool. Coffee power. London's coffee industry creates over 200,000 tons of waste every year. So what do we do with it? The entrepreneur's big idea is to use his company BioBean to turn 85% of coffee waste into biofuels for heating buildings and powering transport. I'm an environmentally friendly guy. I like the idea of this. If the science supports it, go right ahead.
Yeah. Same. I mean, biofuels are, they're cool.
All right. Drown
But
forest. Oh, my
the
bad.
only thing, to go back is, biofuels, I always wonder what is the energy yield from biofuels.
It's not a lot.
And I've never, just sat down and like looked it up.
Yeah.
But to me, that's the only problem. I mean, it is waste. So if you're just converting the waste into energy,
Yeah.
that's fine. There's always going to be more waste left over because nothing is 100% efficient.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with that waste?
The way
uh,
my bad. Keep going.
but it's just like, okay, it's great, but you're not going to get high yield energy from it. So it's like, what is the how much are you going to be able to use it for exactly?
Right, probably not a lot. I mean, if you look at vegetable oil, they've been trying to power up cars with vegetable oil, and the reason that has not been successful is because you need a ridiculous amount for it to do anything. And so, I think mainly the idea of this is that it's already waste, right? So if you're able to economically make the case that turning 85% of coffee waste into biofuels actually nets some sort of benefit, even if it's 10%, then I mean, cool to me because you're just gonna throw that out anyways, and now you can use that to power up a flashlight, right? That's me using it at the most minuscule example, but I'd rather it be used to power a flashlight than it just being thrown away and then we having to deal with that eventually later on. But to your point, yeah, no, I don't think it would be a lot at all. I just assume that vegetable oil, since it's way more potent than what I believe coffee to be, that it wouldn't power up much. You will need a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I drink a lot of coffee, so who knows?
There you go. Drown forest fires in sound comes in at number 9. Forest fires could one day be dealt with by drones. Drones are gonna be a big game changer for almost everything within this decade. I truthfully believe that prescriptions are gonna start being delivered door to door via drone within this decade. So the article continues to say that it would direct loud noises at the trees below. Since sound is made up of pressure waves, it can be used to disrupt the air surrounding a fire. So that essentially cuts off the supply of oxygen to the fuel. At the right frequency, the fire simply dies out. At researchers at George Mason University in Virginia recently demonstrated with their sonic extinguisher. It is apparently a bass frequency. Apparently, a bass frequency works best. Bro, my mind is blown. I've never thought about that concept. I'm being honest. I actually kind of want to watch this video, but I'll let you give your 2 cents and see if we want to play this video.
We don't need to play it.
That's insane. I never knew you could do that.
It's interesting. I'm a big Linkin Park fan.
Mm-hmm.
And
let me know how this relates.
and in one of their songs, they make I don't know if it's a song or like the bridge into like one of the next songs, like the little intertrack things. Mm-hmm. And they talk about an audio weapon that was developed. I don't know. It's like the concept of a song, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea behind this is, when you hear my voice and I hear your voice, is there are vibrations that occur in the air. Mm-hmm. So the sound waves, they're moving back and forth within the air, and then we hear it. So the idea here, when we're looking at the frequencies and bass frequencies, the bass frequency is going to be lower than like a flute or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that means it's going to be larger. So when it's traveling in the air, it's going to be different than something that's very high pitch. It's not going to have the same kind of effect that like a bass would. Mm-hmm. If you were to go in your car and turn up a very high frequency, I think like a mosquito, mm-hmm. a mosquito tone coming out of your speaker. And now think about if you had a bass, whether that be a bass drum, a bass guitar, etc., and you're plucking that string, it's going to be a lot deeper. It's going to resonate more. It's going to have more of a deep kind of feel that's associated with those wavelengths and frequencies. So that's what you're going to get there with that extinguisher. Now, can really they scale that up to the point that is, putting out like wildfires? We'll see. But maybe little things that could definitely help out with.
That's really cool, man. I hope that this evolves to a way that they could combat wildfires, because I mean that's insane. That's blown my mind so far on this article.
That would be like I can't even think of his name. The announcer guy from My Hero Academia.
Mike, President Mike.
Yeah. That's basically the science behind what his quirk would be.
No, that's dope. That makes it a cool power to have. I never thought about that. That's really cool.
All right, almost halfway done with this list.
Yeah, the AI scientist. I think we can skip this. I think it's this opens up a new type of form of job, in that obviously you should go to school to study anything AI related. So it's as the medium evolves, there will be more jobs available to make sure that the AIs don't overrun humanity. And so that's really cool.
Yep.
All right, space balloon. What do we have here? If you want to take a trip into space, your quickest bet might be to take a balloon. The company Worldview Enterprises, not sponsored, wants to send tourists into the stratosphere. You didn't think I was gonna pronounce that word, huh, Rico Grande? You didn't. You thought I was gonna be here. A stratosphere, stratosphere.
Hey, you pronounced the word you learned in fifth grade. I'm proud.
There you shut up. Into the stratosphere, 32 kilometers above Earth, on a hot air balloon.
Yeah,
Technically,
hey,
space is
I
defined.
hate heights. I do not
Okay.
like heights. So
Okay.
if you tell me, yo, we're gonna put you in this balloon and then take you up to space, it's a very hard pass.
Well, it sounds like they're not really even trying to take you to space, as technically space is defined as 100 kilometers above sea level. So they'll just take you. Well, it says, but 32 kilometers is high enough to witness the curvature of the Earth. So that's as far as they're going to take you. They're actually not going to take you onto Earth, like above Earth.
No, too high for me.
uh
Like what if look, I'll put it if you put me in a balloon
huh.
and I now ascend halfway up a house, so I am now on the second story of a house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in a balloon,
Yeah.
I'm too high.
So that means I beat you in a challenge then, because I don't care for like heights is whatever. Heights is just me being high, in my opinion. Um,
I already lived that life. See, it's a dream for you.
it's a dream. So wait, have you ever flown on an airplane?
Yeah, when I'm in the plane, I'm fine. Um,
I don't believe you.
I don't like roller coasters.
Okay.
I don't like Ferris wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, so that stuff it's a pass for me.
Okay. All right. Number 12, cancer detecting smart needles. A smart needle has been developed by scientists in the UK, which could speed up cancer detection and diagnose times. I don't have to read any more of this. I think that's a great idea. I
Yeah,
think they're
anything to help people with cancer
yeah,
diagnosis and prevention and care.
yeah. I mean, because most of it is very intrusive ways of finding out that somebody has cancer, and so that's a lot of reasons that people don't want to. One, already going to a doctor to see you have cancer is already anxiety inducing, but then once you find out the ways that people actually, the doctors, find out how you have cancer, it's super intrusive. So if it's just a smart needle, then
That's
I
right.
mean,
They
that's awesome.
groping boobies.
Yo, they do everything, bro. They do like the absolute most. I mean, it's needed. I don't want to make it sound like that, but that is something that discourages some people from getting tested. So good.
Yeah.
That's a thumbs up from Rico Grande and Vapi Chulo. 13. Crowdsourced antibiotics. Swallowing sweet seawater. My bad. Is part of surfing, but
Brought
now
you back to your Kirby
right,
memory.
right. But
You saw
now
swallowing. You didn't know how to act.
I didn't know. I was just like, yo, what? But but now the scientists behind a new initiative called Beach Bums want to swab the rectums of surfers. All right, I'm lost. To see if this water contains the key to developing new antibiotics. This is a wild entry here at number 13. They're
I think we've gone off the
yeah,
rails.
we are. I thought we were gonna go off the rails when we start talking about sex robots, but no, it's actually gonna be swabbing the rectums of surfers at number 13. They're searching for
Vapi
antibiotics.
Chilo has already volunteered.
Get out of here. They're
he has vowed to collect 100 samples a day.
listen. You know I don't swim, so I would not be helpful in this.
No,
They're
you're just on the beach as they get back from the water.
no. They're searching for antibiotic-resistant bacteria known as superbugs. By studying the samples from the surfers, they hope to learn more about these potentially dangerous organisms in the hope of producing new drugs to combat them. Rico Grande, give me your take.
Well, hey, the cure to coronavirus might be up Kelly Slater's behind.
Okay.
Who knows?
Volunteer them as tribute, please.
You know, you're the man for the job.
I don't think so. I don't think I am fit
You
to
are
be a
now
test subject.
renamed Swabby Chulo.
That is not taking off. I'm editing that off from the video. Nobody is gonna hashtag Swabby Chulo at all towards me. It's not gonna happen. It's
That's our new mascot.
oh, car batteries that charge in 10 minutes at number 14. I am like, let me explain to you how excited I am at to pay $200 for a new battery in my car. So let's see what this has to say. Fast charging of electric vehicles. So you already have to have money, so never mind. Fast charging of electric vehicles is seen as key to their take up. So motorists can stop at a service station and fully change their car in the time it takes to get a coffee and use the toilet, taking no longer than a conventional break. You got me there so far. But rapid charging of lithium ion batteries can degrade the batteries. That's bad for people who don't understand whether to be happy or sad about it. Researchers at the Penn State University in the US of A say this is because the flow of lithium particles known as ions from one electrode to another to charge the unit and hold the energy ready for use does not happen smoothly with rapid charging at lower temperatures. Until now, where they have found that if the batteries could heat up at 60 degrees Celsius for just 10 minutes and then rapidly cool again to ambient temperatures, lithium spikes would not form and heat damage would be avoided. So this sounds like good stuff to me. What is your take on this one?
So today, I haven't been driving a lot because there's been nowhere to go.
Right.
Everything is shut down.
Yes.
You know, my one of the few places I would like to drive to is the gym, which is closed.
Correct.
So, but I had to move my car today. I had to move it. Wasn't going to move it far. Just, you know, a couple spots over on the street. Get in, turn the ignition. Nothing. Oh, the battery was dead.
Oh.
It was dead. Like, you know, sometimes you get the flicker of the lights. Maybe you hear some staticky radio.
Right.
I got nothing at all.
Man.
Absolutely nothing.
Anyway, under this coronavirus climate, man, that probably hit twice as hard.
So, well, I didn't have to get a new battery. I was able to get the jump. So I was able to jump the battery, but hey, if you have something that's charging 10 minutes, I feel like it's a whole lot more convenient than, you know, getting a new battery, having these you know, ion spikes.
Listen,
that's messing up the flow of the particles.
As somebody who has just recently had to get their battery replaced, listenership, viewership, if your battery is 3 to 5 years old, please just get your battery replaced. Jump starting your car only makes your battery live to see a couple of more weeks. It is way better to just get it replaced. We are not sponsored, but I want you to do some research because there is a company that will give you free installation of a battery. You still have to you don't pay people power prices. You just pay the price of the battery. Because we are not sponsored, there are no free hands out here in the Horn of Plenty pod. I will not disclose that name, but it's easy to figure it out, so Google it. Okay. But it sounds like it's 2 thumbs up from me and Rico Grande.
Yeah, and for you know, any listeners that we have in overseas, which we're going to have many overseas listeners eventually.
Okay.
But since most people that listen to us probably live in the United States, they have no idea what 60 degrees Celsius means.
Right.
So, very quickly, it says, you heat it up to 60 Celsius for 10 minutes and then wrap it cool against the ambient temperatures. So 60 degrees Celsius is less than the temperature needed to boil water in Celsius.
There you go. So it
So
doesn't.
water in the Celsius system, right? Water freezes at 0, boils at 100, 60 Celsius, give or take 150 ish, 60 Fahrenheit. Uh, so much cooler, right? Imagine, how hot cars get, gasoline cars. You have a radiator to keep everything, cool. If you were to throw water on your engine, it would evaporate quite easily.
Right.
So having something that's able to charge in 10 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius is, phenomenal.
Nice.
Have to give the reference there. Not too many people understand Celsius, Vapi, Chulo.
No, I feel you, and people could tell that you, in a past life, were a fifth grade teacher. So that is nice.
Yeah,
um,
double it and add a couple.
there you go. 15 coming in at number 15. Smart food labels. The UK home throws away 30 to 50% of what we buy from supermarkets, says a 2013 report by the Institution of Mechanical Engineers.
I guess the future is happening in London.
I guess. Yeah, oh yeah, because the last couple of entries have been from the UK. The
This is
report,
probably BBC.com or British Broadcasting
maybe.
Channel.
The report claimed were guided by use by and best before dates on food packaging, which makes sense. I always keep it a week after the best before use by date because I just feel like that's the man telling me to buy more of their merchandise. And you know what? A week ain't gonna hurt anybody unless there's mold on your bread or vegetables. Throw that away ASAP.
Right.
So, which are kept conservative because they're driven by shops' desire to avoid legal action. That is also true. They pick an earlier date to prevent people from suing them. So, an invention called Bump Mark could change all of that. Well, Rico Grande is asking me, what is Bump Mark? I don't know. Let's read ahead. Originally developed for blind people, it's a label that starts out smooth to the touch, but gets bumpier as food decays. And since it decays at the same rate as any protein based food within, it's far more accurate than printed dates. That is super cool. My first question is, how much does this packaging cost? Yeah, I think it would cost way more than regular packaging.
Oh, you got that smart packaging.
Yeah, that's wild.
I
That
feel
joint
like
is going to be Wi-Fi enabled.
if you go to someone's house and they have smart packaging, you can just take all the food.
Fam, I'm not. I don't want to go to your house ever again. If you have smart packaging on your bologna slices, I'm not coming to your house again. You're too rich for me. I don't like
And
any
see,
of that.
this is how I manage food. I eat the food that I buy, so it's gone pretty quickly.
There you go.
And then I freeze the stuff that I don't use so I can use it later. So this food waste has never been a problem for me.
Same, bro. This is what I do. So life hacks for people who don't already know these life hacks. My favorite thing to do is to go to the supermarket and go to the clearance rack. The clearance section typically has discounted bread and vegetables because they want you to, like, you need to use that within the first 24 to 48 hours of purchase. Listen, when I tell you that I have bought 2 pounds of bananas for 44 cents because they were overly ripe, and I just bought them and cut them up and freeze them for smoothies, that has saved me a bunch of money. When I tell you that I have bought whole loaves of bread for 15 to 25 cents and just freeze them in the freezer, because in case you didn't know, it only really takes about 10 minutes for bread to defrost when you take it out the freezer. I have saved a bunch of money just freezing stuff and using it when I finally want to use it. So
Yeah, I do this all the time with donuts and bagels.
there you go. There you go. So I'm really not that excited about this. I think this is probably way more important for more affluent people who probably don't do their own grocery shopping. If I'm being shady, And so again, just if this already costs more than the standard packaging for food, I don't think this matters. People are not in the business of. I just don't think they're in this business when they already have a way that they've been doing it for 30 plus years, which is just saying that use this by here to spend maybe probably 60 more cents on packaging. For it's not gonna happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not throwing away 50% of what I buy.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. Oh boy, Andrew Yang probably has something to say about number 16 at self-driving trucks. We've almost got used to the idea of driverless cars before. We've even seen one of the roads. The truth is, you might well see a lot more driverless trucks. Blah blah blah. It is cheaper to run than regular rigs. Blah blah blah, and they could drive in convoys nose to tail to minimize wind resistance. Companies like Mercedes and Peloton are already exploring these possibilities. And this is something that, I mean, a lot of people should know the realities of. This is a conversation that has been elevated by past Democratic presidential nominee Andrew Yang. Rico Grande, give me your take.
Yeah, I mean, I see it happening. I mean, unfortunately, when we look at the future, you can look at it as bad or good, depending on the mindset you want to take. You could say, oh, these self-driving trucks are going to take all our jobs. But what we're really going to have to do is just adapt to a new economy that's based around AI enhanced, models of infrastructure. So, here, they even reference saying that, the trucks will still have a human passenger to ensure the cargo is safe. Well, right off the bat, they're probably going to get paid less than a driver because they're just sitting there.
Right.
But hey, your job is to sit in a truck and look at cargo. Like, it's not a hard job.
Right. Right.
So, there's size, for every truck that you have that's self-driving, it's going to need maintenance. Certain maintenance things you can have automated, but certain things you can't. Just depends on how far we come. For these things, but hey, it could be good, could be bad. I mean, people started driving cars and they stopped riding horses.
That's fair. That's fair.
We adapt to that technology. So as long as there's some kind of balance to the job that is taken away, then we'll be okay. The only bad thing that could happen is if the advancement of this technology comes at a rate at which the replacement fields don't also grow, then that's when there'll be some economic problems.
I agree.
So, hey, any other future presidential candidate want to put me in a position to diagnose these issues? I'm available.
I would vote for you, begrudgingly, but I will vote for you. At number 17, pain-free tattoo removal. Got a tattoo that you now regret? There may soon be a gentler, cheaper alternative to laser remover.
Whack.
Why? What if you got your ex-girlfriend's name on your back?
Shouldn't have done it.
So they should just be. If there's an alternative that makes them remove it, you just live with your mistakes.
Well, hey, it removes it, but you should feel it. You should feel the regret of your decision.
Well, if people are interested in how this is possible, there's a student in the U.S., a PhD student, who has worked on how to harness a property of your own body's immune system to be able to remove that. So he's developed a cream that delivers drugs to white blood cells called macro. Damn it. Is it macrophages?
Phages.
Whatever. Macrophages, which is Greek for big eaters, apparently, causing them to release the ink they took up in order to protect your skin during the tattooing process. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, I have one tattoo. I want more, so I plan to go in the other direction.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All artificial neurons on silicon chips at number 18. Man, I don't even know if I'm capable of understanding what this means right off the bat. So
Let's scroll down. I'll help you make sense
here
of
you
it,
go.
Vapi
Here you
Chulo.
go. You take charge on this one, buddy.
Scientists have found a way to attach artificial neurons onto silicon chips, mimicking the neurons in our nervous system and copying their electrical processes. So, for those of you that don't know, neurons are cells that send and transmit signals from the brain on part of the nervous system.
Okay.
A lot of times, issues that we face are from some kind of neural decay or diminishment over time. So if we were to have chips that service as these neurons, it could actually, and I'm not even looking down to see what kind of. Oh, yep, they called it heart failure and Alzheimer's, as it requires little power. If we look at some brain issues and deterioration, what happens is our neural pathways become affected, and our cognitive ability diminishes. So if we have this chip that's inside, implanted in the brain or elsewhere, and it takes over the role of the now gone or damaged neurons, and it's able to do that function on their own, then we could mitigate or undo a lot of the damage done to the brain, and really, help people live quality life as they get to their later stages.
Listen, it sounded cool. I'm with it. I represent the viewership that did very poorly on all of the science classes in high school and college. And so a thumbs up from me because it sounded like Rico Grande was very excited to talk about this, and so that is a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, hey, it shows promise. We'll have to see. With anything that's gonna have that much potential, it needs a lot of work. The first person that says, "Okay, yeah, load me up," is a brave person. So,
Right.
We have to see where that goes. But it could be
Listen,
bad. For people that have Alzheimer's, related issues, that could be massive. Quality of life.
nice. At number 19, this already looks really cool. Number 19 is floating farms. So it's a concept by forward thinking. The UN predicts there will be 2 billion more people in the world by 2050, creating a demand for 70% more food. I don't know why that's spaced out like that. Oh, because this is a UN is an article from up there. Got it. By that time, 80% of us will be living in cities, and most food we eat in urban areas is brought in. So farms overseas and inland lakes close to the city will certainly reduce food miles. But how would it work? Well, let me tell you, a new design by an architect by Forward Thinking Architecture shows a 24-meter tall 3-tier structure with solar panels on top to provide energy. Okay, the middle tier grows a variety of vegetables over an area of 51,000. I would assume that's meters. I don't believe that to be miles. Using not soil but nutrients.
No, it's meters squared.
Okay.
So it's the area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Using not soil but nutrients in liquid. That makes sense. These nutrients and plant matter would drop into the bottom layer to feed fish. Oh, which are farmed in an enclosed space. Wow, that's cool. A little double function. A single smart floating farm would measuring 350 by 200 would produce an estimated 8.1 tons of vegetables and 1.7 tons of fish. Whoa, that is super cool. Oh, and here's a minute-long video. We will play this one because I just want to see the schematics of it. Let's see where we get. That is a really cool looking design. I'll still frame it right here. Rico Grande, what are your thoughts?
I have two thoughts. One, the scientist of me is very interested to see how something like this would function.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other scientist in me says that this is a very good reason that the world does not need to expand in population the way that it is.
Fair.
There was a very interesting uh, speech talk. I don't even know how exactly how you would phrase it. I think it was a panel of individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And one individual on there was Killer Mike, who's a rapper,
Hey.
Bernie Sanders supporter,
Yep.
a part of a hip hop group called Run the Jewels.
Yep.
And he was talking about how people in different minority communities talk about revolution and breaking forth and kind of having like their own sovereignty in some kind of way. And he was addressing the audience, and he said, "How many people here can hunt? How many people could fish? How many people know how to make their own clothes? And how many people are comfortable and familiar with the use of firearms?" Needless to say, not many people were.
Right.
So this, the first thing that I'm thinking is like, oh, okay, well, hey, this is the massive structure that would be very cool. Like, I wish I could see this work, like, in person, like, to see how this would be executed.
Mm-hmm.
Another part of me is like, I don't see where the massive explosion of population gets us in the future, because this is what I can say. For everything that we've looked at on this list, it is best case scenario.
Right.
And even the worst case scenario, like killer robots and, nanobots causing cancer because they got hacked into,
Mm-hmm.
are they're extreme, right? The one thing that I can say about the future, without fail, I know is going to happen. There's going to be poor people.
For sure.
There's going to be systems of inequality.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how well designed the solution is, we have solutions for the problems of today,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't have those solutions do not go into effect for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is that people are extremely greedy and value money over the advancement of people.
Snaps.
So when I see something that the earth is going to have 2 billion more people in about 50 years, and that most of those people are going to live in cities, they're not going to be eating this fish
Well,
and eating these vegetables. There's going to be a whole lot of poor people and very, very few people that are able to eat fresh vegetables and clean fish.
would it assure you a little bit more if I told you that 1 billion out of the 2 billion of people would live in India? Because statistically, that country is going to be is just gonna have a lot of people, bro. There's a lot of people up there in India. I actually think it's the population in China is actually reducing significantly when you look at the increase of people in India in the next couple of decades.
Yeah. I mean, as we can see with this, virus that's spreading, we have a economy that's based on large consumption that only increases.
Yes.
And, when that consumption stops, the economy falls apart.
Yep.
So we need to build an economy. I want to see the top 10 ideas for the future that build an economy that's based around sustainability
Mm.
with spacing things out, maybe have not mega mansion houses that we can actually say, okay, if we follow this model, we'll be good 100 years from now.
That's cool. I think that's a really good topic, and I definitely will do research because I think I definitely, I love that topic, and I think that's a really good list to have. So, in the future podcast, we'll definitely talk about that. But for now, Rico Grande, we have only three more entries. No, yeah, three more entries
Hey, let's hit them up.
on
We'll
this
hit them
list.
up, and then we'll be done.
Yeah, so number 20. The 4-day working week. Woo! Do you know we are like behind on this? Like there is this Switzerland? There's some country that does this already, and they're like one of the most happiest countries out here in the world. So the article says it turns out working less might mean mean more work gets done, which is not a surprise to me. A raft of studies have shown that with less time to work, less time is wasted. That makes a lot of sense. Just think about when you was in school and you was like, why would I do this paper now when it's due in 16 weeks, right? There's less absenteeism, which just means like there's less opportunity for you to like say I'm not going to show
Not
up
be
to
at
work,
work.
right? Because I need to go to work. There's only 4 days for me to get this work done, right?
Hmm.
And in most cases, greater productivity, a more compact working week has also been shown to encourage employees to stay with companies for longer and works as a recruitment tool. Man, the statistic that says that we work way more than we actually spend time with our families is all the reason I need to support this 4 day working week. Rico Grande and I have talked about this a little bit already, but the CEO of Twitter has recently talked about how after the coronavirus is taken care of, in Vapi Chulo's opinion, by November, most of its workforce, the Twitter workforce, will be allowed to work from home. I think that is a great idea. There are studies that are already coming out that are saying that that workers are way more productive working from home. They get to save money on gas. They save time on commute. They sleep longer, so that means that they are way more ready to work. They are appreciative of the fact that they get to work from home, so their productivity is high because if they want this to be a thing, they know that they have to show results. It's amazing.
Hey, so I've been on two extremes of this, Vapi Chulo.
Talk to me.
So, with this outbreak, I'm on a 0 day work week. I'm begging for a day. Hey, I'll take a day. You got a day?
Yeah.
We've also had the 12-day work week,
Mm-hmm.
which is absolutely asinine.
Yeah, insane.
Uh, how about you come work for 12 days and we'll give you like 2 days off?
Insane. And
Oh, oh,
you get the 2 days off when it's the least convenient to you.
those 2 days might be Monday and Tuesday after you go to a meeting real quick.
Right.
Uh, by real quick, we mean 3 hours.
Insane. Insane.
And then you got to be. I mean, no one's trying to work that many hours. So I
Right.
think, and what happens is that a lot of people, if you're working at a desk job, and this is most people that they're hitting here.
Right.
If you look at everything you have to do, you're not going to fill up 40 hours with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not if you're being efficient.
Right.
And it depends. Like if you look at where you are at within a company, you could only move so fast.
Right.
So if you're the CEO, if you're someone at the top, you're building the company, you're responsible for growth, management, hiring, concept development, coming up with ideas. You could come up with the idea. You could green light it for production. It has to get produced. You can't do anything from the idea stage, from the production stage until the thing is actually made.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's say you're building action figures. You design the action figure, it gets greenlit for production, gets sent down to the production floor. You still have to wait for those things to be made to hit the shelves to see what the sales are going to be, to then either follow in a vein based on the success or the failure of that product. So you're going to be stalled one way or another. Let's say you work on the floor, right? You're working on the manufacturing floor, and your job is to press the button. You press a button, thing goes by, let's say, and this is like old old kind of manufacturing belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So someone puts a little hat on the toy. It goes by, right? So let's say, your job is you have the box of the hats that go on the toy.
Mm-hmm.
You can only put the hats on the toy so quickly, before you run out of little action figures to put the hats on.
Right.
So really, for a company to kind of flow and ebb perfectly, all of the tasks and happenings from the top level to the bottom level should be kind of flowing at one rate, right? Now what happens is that you have ultra productive people, and then you have lazy people. You have people that are playing games on the internet half the day, watching YouTube videos.
Yo, don't call me
uh,
out like that, bro.
Hey, if you're watching a Horn of Plenty podcast, you're technically well
Hey,
fed.
then you're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Then you're doing it right. You are being mentally productive, right? But now we have, if we're looking at this, big machine, we have several different rates of production happening at once. So you're going to have all the disparity there. So a 4-day work week kind of just move people into getting closer to that alignment from top to bottom that is going to be required for a company to thrive.
I like that analysis.
Yeah. Hey, for business analysis and consulting, hire Rico
Yes,
Grande.
absolutely. Um, Listen, bro. Plasticine Park at number 21. Yeah, I went for it. I don't care. I know a bunch of you can't pronounce whatever this word is. Rico Grande, take a stab with this.
I would say Pleistocene.
Pleistocene Park. All right, what is Pleistocene Park? Well, let me tell you, Russian scientists
Oh,
hopes to recreate a 12,000-year-old environment in a wildlife park for herbivores like wild horse and bison with extinct
they pronounced it wrong.
What did I pronounce wrong?
It's a bison.
It's that sounds like I'm at the Chucky Frito ordering food. Arroz y habichuela con un bison. Con... With extinct megafauna, megaphone.
You had it right the first time.
Okay, megafauna like mammoths replaced by modern hybrids. It will study the impact of the animals on the environment and climate. This is cool. I'm kind of shocked that this is at 21. I think it will be something a little bit more exciting. At 21, but it is what
I
we
think
have.
this is like the most boring version of Jurassic Park.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, oh, well, we didn't have dinosaurs. We didn't have saber-toothed tigers.
Right.
We had big bison.
This is a really bad remake. Just a really bad remake. Like I don't even want to like hear the da 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 da.
Oh no, it's definitely like a guy in a banjo.
Absolutely. Definitely for sure. Okay. 22. Let's see what we have at 22. I hope it is something exciting. Near perfect insulation. You know what? So I was a property manager when I was an undergrad, right? And so I had to renovate a whole house with two old people. And I've learned of the importance of insulation through that experience. So you know what? This may randomly get me excited. Let's see what this entails. There are two things the majority of people in the Western world own: a refrigerator and a mobile phone. And aerogels could revolutionize the manufacture both. Alright, so this already is not what I thought it was. An aerogel is a material that's full of tiny holes made by extracting all the liquid from a gel. It can be up to 95% pores. Those pores are so small, between 20 and 50 nanometers, that gas molecules can't squeeze through them. As a result, aerogels can transport heat, making for a material with incredible insulating properties. The unusual electrical properties of aerogels also make them suitable as lightweight antenna for mobile phones, satellites, and aircrafts. Man, what do you? I don't care. I'm gonna be real. I don't care. How do you feel about this?
It's actually very, very cool.
All right, talk to me. You're the scientist out of the two of us, so tell me why you think this is cool.
Well, if we have insulation, uh, let's say I look at this like super in a macro sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I insulate my home using an aerogel.
Okay.
So all of my heating costs and cooling costs are going to be dramatically reduced because it's not going to be seeping out of my home.
Mm-hmm.
as a, just one way to look at the insulation. All right. So if I then take it to a tech perspective, um, you know, computers overheat. And why do they overheat, Vapi Chulo? You have any hypothesis?
Why do computers overheat?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. So I actually build computers, so it really depends on the processing power of the computer. And so if you have very subpar materials, you get very subpar performance on your computer. And so when you're trying to do multiple things, there are a couple of variables, but the top two variables are that you're trying to do way too much. You're opening too many tabs. You have too many software systems up, and so the components within your computer cannot just cannot they don't outrun what you're trying to do. And the second is the amount of time used on your actual computer. And so it overheats. And so a way that people actually get over that is by getting not just good materials, but there's also coolant that they're able to put on their processors to keep it from overheating as fast as as if we're without the coolant.
Yep. Exactly. So, when you have a lot of things on, you have a lot of commands. All of the commands are going to have some kind of signal that's being, relayed through the chips and the processors and all that. And if all of those signals happening all at once, you have the current that's traveling through the chip.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have too much going on, all of those signals, depending on the material, like you said, if it's a poor conductor, if it's not good, then it's going to lead itself to getting hot.
Right.
So if I have this insulator, this aerogel insulation inside of a computer, and I can now negate that, now my processing speeds can be increased, and I can have that much more computing power,
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
Okay.
And then also, if we look at the example there is a torch
Right.
on one side of the gel, and then whatever object they have on the other side. And in your description, they say that the pores in the aerogel are so small that the air can't transport, it can't be moved. So then whatever's on the other side can't get hot.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that are in professions like firefighter, that could revolutionize firefighting technology in terms of the kinds of suits that they would be able to be formatted with. So when something gets hot, people kind of they have a definition of temperature and heat. That's not the scientific definition of temperature and heat. Temperature, science-wise, is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the molecules within the system.
Mm-hmm.
What heat is the amount of energy needed to move from one temperature to another one.
Right.
So if I'm blasting something with all this energy, I'm putting heat behind it, right? I'm trying to get it from one temperature to another. But now I have this barrier that's stopping this from happening. I'm able to stay at the temperature that I desire the whole entire time. So this is one that most people will look at and say, super insulation, this is boring. But once you get into all of the actual applications of it, it is pretty widespread. It's pretty cool.
Cool. All right, so I guess that was a good way to end the list.
Yes.
So out of the 22, we'll wrap up with this, Rico Grande. Out of the 22 things that we went over, what are you most excited for?
Personally,
Yeah.
I actually do think that the tactile virtual reality would be cool.
That's the one that I had, so that's interesting. I just think
I'm
that's going to
surprised you didn't have
revolutionize.
the living sex robot.
Listen, I think that's going to revolutionize the way people learn, the way people work out, and the way that people escape their realities. And so I'm just really excited for what this can do. I honestly just hope that this technology doesn't need to be perfected before I'm 40, but I hope that it is very functional before I hit 40 because this is technology that I want to partake in while I am fairly young.
Well, hey, if you're old, depending on how good the virtual reality is, you wouldn't know.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I just feel like because I want to be able to like, I want people to like put me in a warehouse and then me have to like, if I play Call of Duty, like I want to like run. Like I want to run and then like my actual real life endurance is the endurance that I have in the game. Like I want it to be that real. So
Mm.
here's hoping. Here's hoping.
This is how you die in the first 2 minutes of Call of Duty.
Just rushing
Which would
around.
be absolutely hilarious. Everyone gets to see how actually in shape they are. All
Yeah.
these people that play video games. It's like, oh yeah, we can't be real soldiers.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. It's hard work, man. Supporting, but I mean, I don't know. We wanted to end it on this note, but I mean, support all of the people in the military, who are doing the damn thing because you know what, it is hard. I mean, I think once we take a step back and actually appreciate what people do, whether it is being a teacher, being a baker, a garbage person, or whatever, like it's all of our jobs are important. So thanks to all of the listenership and all the viewership who have these jobs that sometimes you may feel like you're underappreciated. Know that there are people who appreciate you, like Rico, Grande, and Vapi Chulo here in the Horn of Plenty podcast.
Hey, that's a great way to end it.
All right. Hey, peace. We will be with you here next week. We hope that you are staying safe and healthy. And man, keep it on the uppity up. Things are gonna get better. Maybe not as soon as we want it to be, but listen, we are gonna get through this together and we will rebuild. All right.
All right, see you guys next time.
All right. Peace.